Hey folks, how's it going? I hope y'all are doing good. Last weekend didn't put a video out, really didn't have anything to talk about, plus I was just busy as all get out. But the cool thing is, between last weekend and now, I actually got to go do a night hunt on private property. And I figured I would kind of cover my experiences on that night hunt, since this is my first time having my own equipment doing a night hunt and getting everything set up and all that good stuff to do this, and what I learned in that experience. So, like I said, we had the note from the game warden, so everything was legal on private property hunt and all of that good stuff. So, just going ahead and put that out there. So, excuse me, god dang. I think first off, we'll just go ahead and we'll cover the LAM, laser aiming module, that was used, which is the Holosun Iris. I'm going to go ahead and say this right off the bat. I was really happy with it. It performed way better than I thought it was going to. So we already did the video doing the parallel zeroing, so we don't have to worry about windage holds. All we had to do is worry about elevation holds on using it and shooting with it. With this experience going out and hunting with the 2 coyotes I shot, I didn't have to worry about that. Everything I shot was within 50 yards as far as the coyotes went. But I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to talk about getting it out there, playing with it, and actually having an area dark enough to where setting it up and adjusting it. So right off the bat, putting the Iris on max power, probably not necessary. I didn't turn it down to the lower setting, which I kind of wish I had. But hopping out of the truck, getting out, playing with it, I had it set up on spotlight first. I shined it out to a tree line that was 75 to 100 yards away. And as you can see, we still have green leaves on stuff. What wound up happening is shining it out that far with the IR Lume in spotlight mode, it actually come back and it didn't cause the auto gate on the PVS 14 to actuate, but what it did is it was too bright to actually see details with the PVS 14. Moving the lever right here to flood took care of that issue right off the bat. And if I put it on low, it probably would have worked out a little bit better. Goodbye, spam. So that was the first thing I noticed. Then the other thing I noticed while we were walking to the place where we were supposed to go set up to hunt some hogs is one of the guys in the group had his on, and I do not remember what laser aiming module device he had. It wasn't an Iris, it was something else. But his doesn't have a dual button switch, it's a single button switch, so when he hits it, it turns on the lume and the IR lume and the IR laser. And when he did that, it was close enough, it caused his nods to mitigate or to actuate and was not able to take the shot. Me seeing that and learning, 100% not gonna lie to you, I was trying to hit the button and it took a few minutes to memorize it, which one's which, because I didn't bother doing that before I went out. But I wound up hitting the Viz laser, and when I hit the Viz laser, it's just the Viz laser, and I was able to take the shot and kill my first coyote that night. Well, it was within 25 yards. It just hopped out on the road right in front of us. So that was a lesson learned right there. One, when you're getting a lamb, make sure you have all 3 functions: the lume, the IR lume, IR laser, and the Viz laser. Because sometimes you just need the Viz laser, sometimes you need the other 2 in combination with each other as shooting out distance. But 25 yards and in, just with the PVS 14, no IR lighting on, the Viz laser worked great. After that, we went out. We went a little bit further down. We had another coyote. We heard it before we saw it, and we were shining out into the field with the IR lume and the laser. And the guy, like I said, I don't know what one he was with. I know one of the guys had a potted Sumo Gear laser and did nothing but complain about his lamb all night long. But I was able to see it. He popped his head up. like I said, we did the parallel zero. I was able to compensate, and I popped him right in the head, and I think that was 50 yards. So, worked great. No complaints. Only thing I can say is watching the videos, I was not expecting the review videos on YouTube. I was not expecting to get out of this device what was happening. It did. The videos that you watch on YouTube, even though they say it doesn't show the full function on the video, that is the understatement of the year as far as I can tell. Sorry, cold front coming in. It's a little cool out here. The other thing I wanted to cover was, I've made a statement on here. This red dot on here is for passive aiming with the Nod. So this is Vortex Defender, standard window, all that good stuff. It's supposed to have 3 night vision positions or settings to use. Either this one is broken or it doesn't do it. I turn it all the way down to where it flashes and it does not get any dimmer. And in low light scenarios, personally, my experience with the aim points in the military, you shouldn't be able to see that. You should be able to turn it down low enough where you don't see that dot. So I'm going to wind up finding the box this came in, double check all the functions on it. If it says it has it, I'm going to shoot an email off to Vortex. Y'all know how they work. They're really good on their warranties and everything like that. But in low light, I still see this dot. I should be able to turn it down low enough, and especially in low light where I don't see the dot. I can't do that with this one. The PST Gen 3, what I wound up doing after we got to our location doing the hog hunting, I wound up taking my Nod and moving it from my dominant eye to my non-dominant eye. And just kind of sitting there playing with the PST and the Defender as I was working on the bend and aim. With the red dot, doing the bend and aim, easy peasy. So there's that function just in case it's needed. But with the PST, with the way it's set up, it's just a dot inside. It does get daylight bright, but it does turn down low enough, just like the Defender. I can do the bend and aim with it as well. The only thing that sucks about that is getting the proper cheek weld to use the LPVO and getting the angle set on your Nod. Other than that, it worked out great. I played with it long enough. I got the settings pretty much figured out. And if I continue to do that, I'll be able to do it all the time. It just sucks that when I'm up and moving around, I've got to change my angle for proper view so I don't trip on stuff, to where if I'm going to use the scope, it pretty much, I got to do a little bit of work. But other than that, I've got the Defender on there just in case and all that good stuff. The suppressor. So this is the AB Raptor K-Can, their short one. And go ahead and get that off of here real quick. So I have 2 cans. I have an OSS flow-through can, and I have this baffled can. So right off the bat, differences. The flow can is a 30 cal can, and it is one of their older models. Just let that be known. On the flow can, flash mitigation, shooting at night under nods. From time to time, the OSS can will cause the auto gate to action or function, whatever you want to call it. With this one, so far, doing night shoots and this hunt, not once have I had that issue. Now the OSS can, like I said, the OSS can is one of the earlier models. I'm sure they've made improvements to fix that issue. Because mine doesn't have the flash prongs on my OSS can like this one does. But this one still has flash, nowhere near as bad. With that being said, breaking this down, shooting at the hogs, I wound up firing 8 shots, getting 2 hogs, one using a thermal optic as a clip-on, and then one using the lamb, shooting one on the run. And it took me a few shots. I did not get gassed out using this can. So, and right now I'm just running a standard charging handle because I haven't had the time nor the money to get a better charging handle put inside this gun. So kudos to AB. I think their baffle design is actually pretty good. So I highly recommend going and watching videos on it. Plus, as far as baffle cans go, that's a $400 can, and I have seen other baffle cans and used other baffle cans that would gas me out shooting that way that are a lot more expensive than that. So with that being said, that pretty much covers everything that's on the gun right now. Look out, girl. Let's get over. Sorry, dog's in the way here. Set this off to the side. The other product that was used, which is kind of leading me to think about some other things as well, was the AGM Rattler VC2, the clip-on thermal. So this is what I used to shoot my first hog at 400 yards. With that being said, once again, 4MR Ranch puts out a lot of good information. I highly recommend going and seeing it. I'm in agreement with them. At 400 yards, I could tell there was an animal there, but I could not tell you what type of animal it was. One of the individuals that was there had a pulse. I think it was a Pulsar. That's about $5,000-$6,000. Looking through his and playing with his, I could see a really long way. And at one point in time, we were looking at cows that were 700 to 1,000 yards away. Zooming in, doing all of his stuff, you could definitely tell it was a cow. You didn't want to shoot that way. With this one, 300 yards is, I think, pushing it for a positive identification of an animal while you're shooting it. At 500 yards, I could definitely see the hogs coming down the ravine, but I could not tell you what they were. I mean, I could hear them. I could tell you what they were by sound. I knew it would be an okay shot, but in other situations, no, it would not be a shot. Plus, having the guy with a much more expensive thermal device really helped out. Oh, this is the 250. This is the $800 one. Because it was me trying to figure out which way I really wanted to go, and I'm going to stick with the clip-on. I like that way. As far as my setup goes, I like that much better. But 400 yards, I was able to take a shot. I popped it. I held just a little bit high, and I'll cover that here in just a second why I did what I did. Shot that way. But with the AB suppressor, I had the exact same actions out of the animals I've seen with a lot more expensive cans. They didn't run away from me after because I got to take the first shot, and once I took the shot, they were running towards us, they were running left, they were running right, they were just going everywhere. Where in the past, not using a suppressor, shooting at them, they just run away from me and get back in the thick brush and hide. So as far as sound mitigation for the AB Raptor K-Can, it does great. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's a for $400. It's a 100% recommendation for me, especially if you're just doing nuisance hunting. No sense to me. There's no sense spending $1,000 on a baffled can. Flow cans, definitely spend a little bit more money. Just remember, we covered this in another video on flow cans. Make sure you stick to the caliber they're designed for, so you get proper function out of them. Because if you shoot a 5.56 to a 30 cal flow can, you get little to no sound mitigation. That is my experience. The other thing I ran into using a thermal clip-on. I don't know if I've said this or not, but 1 to 6 LPVOs, I'm a proponent or a fan of second focal plane. After using this, I'm kind of drifting back towards maybe a first focal plane. Because using a clip-on, I'm only able to dial to 3 to 4 magnification, so my BDC holds are off, or my bullet drop compensators are off. Second plane, they only work at max magnification. And I've taken that scope out, and I've shot 600 yards, 700 yards, 800 yards consistently all day long, using some hand loads and 55 grain and 77 grains once I figure the holes out. So first focal plane, if you're going to use a clip-on, something I'm going to start leaning real hard towards. So when the money comes in, probably going to go ahead and get the Credo 1 to 10 first focal plane and drop it on another gun, because right now, for what I'm doing, most places I hunt, this is going to work out just fine, because I'm going to be lucky to get past a 100-yard shot. So that way, if I do wind up going out like at this ranch land where there is open areas and shots down the roads and stuff like that, I can actually use my BDC. Now, covering this right here by itself, like I said, 400 yards, I could tell you it was an animal. I could tell you I would not be able to 100% with confidence say it's a hog, it's a deer, it's a coyote, whatever. So solo out on this, I would highly recommend staying 200 yards and in. Now you can step it up to, so this is a 250, you can step it up to a 350, and it's a world of freaking difference. Couple $100 more and you get up to this. My only problem with this, to be 100% honest with you, as a clip-on, this is a big footprint. Their thermal scope is the exact same housing as this. It's a big footprint. It does weigh something. You're already adding it onto a gun with a suppressor, an LPVO, a red dot, a laser aiming module, and a white light. So having this on and just jumping up and doing it for quick shots, not the way to go. I'll only use this if you're stagnant or sitting in one position for a period of time. Cover the second focal plane, first focal plane issue, and other fault I don't like about this thing. It uses proprietary batteries. I haven't had one go dead on me yet, but I haven't had this on for more than an hour and a half at a time. Other thing I ran into, refresh rate. If it's warm outside or it's hot, the refresh rate does kick off quite a bit more than, like right now, it's 48, 52 degrees outside. The refresh rate, I don't think, from what I've noticed, when it's this temperature, doesn't go as often. The thing is, you can hear the refresh rate kick in. It kind of hear this sound, and then boom, it catches back up and does what it's doing. So other than that, I mean, it works great. I just wouldn't use it while moving around. I'd want to be in a stagnant position. If you wanted to use it as a monocular, you can. The only thing that sucks about using the clip-on as monocular is that video camera or LCD display in there is very small, and it's that way so you can use it as a clip-on. With that being said, there's a iBox on the PST Gen 2 or Gen 3. 1 through 6 magnification, that iBox is really forgiving, especially for an LPVO. It is good. I like it. Putting this on front, one thing I'm going to have to work on, which especially with this, is getting it lined up properly in front of it. So I bought one of these before thinking it was a clip-on. It was mismarked on the shelf it was used. It was the 350 series, which I could tell right off the bat was way better than this one, but it wasn't a clip-on, it was the actual scope. But it looked like the clip-on because of this setup right here. Getting this lined up is going to be a pain. Left, right, up and down. That was a huge issue I had with the other one. I was going to have to order the AGM mount, and I probably should have went ahead and just done that. The QD mount instead of the cantilever mount. I would have dropped it down. Probably would have lined up just fine on this one or on the AR-10. But it is what it is. I've already done what I've done. So, with that being said, the guy that put this hunt on, I went with him, and he has the D&T 350 series, which is the next D&T's version, next step up from this to their AGM 350. Now, AGM 350 was really good. I liked it. But I got to play with the D&T 350 series. Yeah, sold. A little bit smaller footprint, a little bit lighter. The thing I really liked about it is it runs on CR123 batteries. This claims to have a 5-hour run time. The guy that was with that had the D&T, talking with him, he says he has up to 6 hours of run time off of the lithium ion battery and 3 hours off the CR123 setup. It's a dual cell that I like. So I'm probably going to save up money and get one of those as well to upgrade. And as far as thermal vision goes, anything I do, that's the way to go. I mean, 250 is good. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, save up your money and get a 350 from either from AGM or DNT. I've played with both their models, and I was really quite happy with them. And going from the 250 to a 350, a lot of the guys on YouTube said it's an okay jump. For me, it is a really decent jump. It is everything clears out a whole lot better going to the 350, close in and out to distance and all of that good stuff. With the 350 DNT, I was looking out to 600-700 yards. Which I do not plan on shooting at an animal that far at night. But I was watching his dog and his cat or his cows out there. I was looking at his dog at 300. I could definitely tell it was a dog, and then I could look at the cows at 7, and I could definitely tell it was a cow. So good on that one, PID, and all that good stuff. So that's what I ran across. If you think I missed anything on this, just let me know. Like I said, I think the big one on this one was the laser aiming module, the Iris. I'm sold on it. I like it. It works great. It's not $2,000 fucking dollars like some of the other ones out there. One of the guys did have a $2,000 one. Did it perform better than the Iris? Yes, it has some more functions on it that allows better tuning and all of that other stuff. But that's a civilian version of a military application one. Did it actually, as far as performance go, as far as how we had them set up and using them, did it perform better? Not that I could tell. That's one of the nice things about getting together with hunters is we get out, we try everybody's stuff out and play with it, especially on something like that. So there you go. I'm sold. I hope y'all like this video. I hope this was helpful. So like I said, if you don't think I covered something good enough, hit me up. I'll do my best to answer your questions. And I have paid for all this stuff myself. No one's paying me anything. Like I said, there's a couple of dings on here I don't like. And then on my setup, I already kind of dinged on that because it's something I didn't think about. So probably looking at just doing a dedicated night hunt rifle, I guess, but probably a different caliber than 5.56. So y'all take it easy. I'm out of here. I'm going to go find something to eat.